New Bern Sporting Goods, 3721 Trent Road in New Bern. They've got all of your sports equipment needs, no matter what sport you play. They do customized screen printing, embroidery, plaques, and trophies. And the best part is there's no job too big or too small. Stop by and see them today again, 3721 Trent Road in New Bern. On the web, you can visit them at nbsports.net. New Bern Sporting Goods, where you're always in the game.
Magical bacon in the house.
We got a phone
I think I missed it. We got a phone call part of that. But, hey, Jordan Honeycutt joins us, man. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Man, we're just trying to make it through this Tuesday. We're really trying to get.
Same?
Yeah. we are really trying to get to next Friday, is what we're trying to do, because both of us are going to be on vacation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going this weekend, so.
Oh, well, what's your big plan? Where are you going?
I'm going back home to see a buddy of mine. Me and him are, trying to get a little business on the side going. When we get it up and going, I'd love to come on and talk about it, but I don't want to jinx it. So, just going home to work on some things and hang out with a buddy. Yep.
Going to,
you know how it is.
I'm sure you got some sports wrapped. You don't go anywhere without, and I'm also going to go to see this sporting event, right?
Yeah, no, this time I'm not, man. I mean,
What?
well, I might stop by a single A baseball game, but if I do, that'll be what it is. But no, I'm actually just going home to actually work on the side hustle a little bit, and just have some good fellowship with a buddy I've had since my childhood.
All right, man. Well, cool. That is fantastic. But yeah, that's really what we're doing. And there is no off season for you. I mean, aside from the off season of the sports you cover from a prep standpoint, college sports, etc., this is sort of an off season for you because you don't have to do those so intensively as you do throughout the school years. But you're a huge baseball fan, and so you don't have this dramatic fall off that the rest of the sports world has because you don't feel this drop off. As I said, I mean, most everybody goes, oh, well, NBA Finals is over. I'll just wait till football comes in. But that doesn't have that. It's never an off season for you.
No, I love baseball. I mean, that's really my first love, and I'm a huge Cardinals fan. Obviously, I keep up with all their stuff. But yeah, the summer is an off time as far as, like you said, there's no high school sports, so that takes a lot of a load off of my time, my working time. But yeah, sports with me in sports, there's no, the flame never dulls. It always burns with me in sports. So.
I wanted to, I guess since we talked a little local sports, we were all last week introduced to the new head coach of the New Bern Bears, Steve Tapley, and some of your early thoughts. I'm sure you're like us, had a chance to talk to him. What were some of your early thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a hard to read kind of guy a little bit because he kind of, he's open, but he's not overly open, I think. So, but I liked first impressions I thought was pretty good. I think he said all the right things without being too much coach speak. He said all the right things, I think, as coming from honest place. So I like that about him. I think he'll be good with the kids. Being a first-time head coach, nobody knows what kind of coach he's going to be really, but he's going to have the pressure on with Coach King and Coach Twitchell here in the same county, and they've proven themselves as good coaches. So I wish him the best, and I hope he does well, obviously. But just kind of a blank slate right now. It's hard to tell.
What are your original expectations though? Like going into next season, because we kind of already know what New Bern has in the cupboard and what's available to Coach Steve Tapley. So, I'm trying to get a gauge on this, and I guess from fans of the New Bern Bears as to what is the amount of pressure from the outside, and maybe how do you think it compares to that of you're a Tennessee Volunteers fan. You have a new head football coach coming up this season. I know it's not the same when you're comparing college and high school, but do you think Coach Tapley maybe feels the similar pressures and, just the call to come out and perform well in the first year, or do you think there's a little bit of a cushion there for him to get everything situated?
I think fans need to have realistic expectations. I think, coming off of 2-5-6 seasons, I think it would be a big time win for him if he had a winning record and made the playoffs. I think that's what you need to look at. So let's just be you know 6 and let's be either 6-5, 7-4, something like that, and let's make the playoffs. So I think that would be a good realistic expectations for him, but I don't think there's a whole lot of pressure in his first season. People are going to give him a break because he's following Curlings and he was a late hire and it's his first year and he's never been a head coach. I think a lot of that stuff is going to take, but he's definitely going to have some pressure in coming years if the turnaround doesn't start showing up.
I'm with you on this. I don't know how much pressure is going to be put on him, because one thing you got to excuse the fact that he didn't get here until so late in the process. Hiring in June for a high school football coach is not ideal. I mean, they're about just a few weeks away from fall camp. They are, a lot of summer activities involved with the football team. Excuse me, that are about to get underway. So, but I wonder, if there is a line, if it is okay, let's assume he doesn't make the playoffs. Let's say they finish 5-6 again. I don't know if that's the pressure. What if they only win 2 games? What if they win no games? We've seen high school football teams have struggles.
That would be bad.
Have one, do you see it's a situation where if he has 0 or say 1 win, that may be a different thing, and maybe that the pressure from the community or fan base would be a little bit tougher on him?
Well, I don't mean any disrespect, but I mean it is Southern Wayne, Eastern Wayne, and CBA Cock. When you got those 3 schools in there, you better win at least one of those.
They can't hear you. You can disrespect them. It's fine.
You better win at least one of those. So, I mean, and then obviously, I don't know who they're scheduling non-conference. I guess the same ones. It's hard. Their non-conference schedule is really tough. But
Yeah.
Their conference lends itself to a few wins. So I don't think going winless is a realistic thing. But 2-3 wins could be possible. But I just don't know. I see what the kids. They're going to have a lot of new kids, even though they're going to have some coming back. They're going to have a lot of new ones. So until I get it, I've only seen them in spring practice, and they had some hardworking kids out there. They looked okay for that early, but you can't really take anything from that. So it's just remains to be seen.
Yeah, on the other end of it, when you just look at the county, I mean, Havelock, it feels like they don't rebuild, they just reload, as the saying goes. And then with West Craven, they certainly had some talent. If we remember last year, injuries and, all sorts of situations, suspensions. I mean, I know the absence of Jonquez Green is certainly going to be a missing factor. But the other 2 schools in the county, West Craven and Havelock, again, I don't have much concern over Havelock. As I was telling you, I think they're just going to reload, and they've got some great talent on that team this year that's returning from last year. But your thoughts on the other 2 teams in the county and how that's going to be tough for New Bern, because 2 of the first 3 games of the season are against these 2 schools.
Yeah, like I said, you can't tell a whole lot from spring, but man, Havelock looks really good. I mean, I was down there. It seems like we say that every year, but man, this year they look really, really good. And then over at West Craven, they've got some holes to fill, like you mentioned, guys with Jonquez, and then they graduated some guys. But they've got athletes, and they've got Clay Jordan and Coach Twitchell, and they got a good staff. So you kind of got to trust them. And trust that they'll at least make the playoffs, and they'll be okay. I think they've got some guys that came in actually from New Bern that are going to really help them, and Havelock's got some kids that came in from West Carteret that are going to really help them. But like I said, it's hard to say. I know Havelock and West Craven opened with each other, so week 1 we're going to see a little bit of what both of those teams have, and then obviously Havelock plays New Bern in week 2, and West Craven plays New Bern in week 3, so we see. First 3 weeks, we see everybody and what they've got against each other. So I kind of like that. I kind of wish it was later in the year, but I like them being all lumped together right there where the county teams play each other.
Yeah, it's a great stretch. Week 1, as you were talking about, Havelock playing West Craven. Week 2, New Bern plays Havelock, and then week 3, West Craven plays New Bern. So that will be great. And what's also interesting is for the Bears beyond this, when you look at that, conference, and you mentioned Eastern Wayne, Southern Wayne, CBA Cock, and I'll just move on and talk about the DH Conley, South Central, and Rose.
J.H. Rose. Yeah.
And seeing those, I mean, Rose has to have their struggles last year. They did have some young players. Rose is the team that's most interesting to me because I want to see how those young guys have matured another year and what Coach Wojcicki can do. South Central had a really surprising year last year, and Conley, of course, is beginning life after Holt Nailers. So, again,
yeah, we don't know what they're going to have.
Again, if you look at it from that standpoint, it certainly could have been a lot worse for a new coach to step into New Bern, say last year, where D.H. Conley and Ahlers were just steamrolling along, and South Central. Again, hard to tell anything in June. But, again, I think there's still a lot of questions about the rest of the conference that New Bern plays in, too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, we don't know how Conley's going to replace, everything they lost with Ahlers and Johnson, and they lost a lot of good players. South Central was pretty young last year, had a good team, had a good year, like you said. I expect them to be pretty tough. And then J.H. Rose, obviously, the last couple of years, New Bern, even though we all know New Bern hasn't had the best team, they've been able to beat, to beat J.H. Rose. So, if Conley can come down a little bit, which we expect them to, maybe New Bern can steal that game, or who knows? Who knows what that conference is going to look like? So, I think it's really open to anybody. I would actually probably lean towards South Central as a favorite, but they're not world beaters by any means. So, I mean, it's just hard to say.
Yeah, again, hard to say anything until we get some games under us and we start seeing some stuff. And to me, it's it's kind of like college football. We can do, and we're going to do it because college football is going to start, that first weekend, last weekend of August, first weekend of September, and we're going to make
about
all these
2 months away.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to make all kinds of predictions and talk about all the teams and everything, but you don't really get a good feel until you're about 3 or 4 games into the college football season as really who's good. And again, that doesn't really tell the entire story, is that you have the whole season going along. But to me, high school football has the same feel. A lot of this is fluff, and we can say this and say that, but until we get a couple of games under us, it's really hard to tell. But we will, I'd say by week 4 in both high school and college, know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think after those first 3 games, when the teams play each other, we're going to know what everybody kind of has. So, yeah, I'd agree with that. Once we get into week 4, two more non-conference games left, and teams start playing the powerful out of Havelock's got Wallace Rose Hill, New Bern plays Jacksonville, West Craven usually plays Conley, somebody like that. So then you're going to see what they've got against good competition out of the area, and then obviously conference comes around. So by conference, you should know what your team should be able to do. You should have realistic expectations by the time conference comes around.
We're talking to Jordan Honeycutt, Sun Journal sports writer, and if you want lots of great prep sports like we're talking about and even some college stuff, you can follow him on Twitter or pick up a copy of the Sun Journal at newbernsj.com/sports. But I have to ask you right now, I'd like to think in my imagination that in Jordan Honeycutt's closet that there is a Kobe Bryant jersey and maybe a Shaquille O'Neal jersey. And
no, I don't have his.
Interesting. Maybe a Magic jersey. Kobe's the only one.
I have Kobe and Magic.
Nice.
Brandon Ingram. Is there a Brandon Ingram jersey?
No, I don't have an Ingram yet.
So let me ask you: will it be a number 13 or a number 23? Which one of the jerseys will you get first? The LeBron James Laker jersey or the Paul George Laker jersey?
Absolutely, Paul George. I would support getting him. I'm not getting a LeBron James Laker jersey. If he comes, I'll just have to, I'll just have to stomach it.
You're going to be cheering for him, Jordan. You're going to be the biggest LeBron fan that we have ever seen.
It's going to be the greatest turnaround. Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing short of Dennis Rodman today has turned. I mean, people are talking about him with the Nobel Peace Prize. When, a few years ago, everybody ridiculed him for all that stuff that took place at North Korea. To me, the second greatest turnaround of people embracing Dennis Rodman is you embracing LeBron James. And I'm telling you, I can't wait till the day that I actually hear it from your mouth.
Oh Lord, no! You're gonna be waiting a long time. It's gonna be like it's kind of like when my mom makes vegetable soup from time to time for her, mainly for her and my dad. I like it, but it's not my favorite. But I'll eat it. But she puts peas in it, and she knows that peas are one of my most hated foods. So it's kind of like when I eat the vegetable soup, I have to pick the peas out. LeBron's going to be like the peas. Like, I still love the Lakers, but I'll have to pick the peas out.
That's great, Jordan.
That is the best sports analogy you've given us in a long time. LeBron James is the peas in your mom's vegetable soup that you have to pick out and tolerate.
That's it,
Jordan.
That's it.
I want to like sort of delve into that a little bit more. Are you a picky eater, Jordan? You strike me as the kind of guy that could be a very picky eater.
It depends on who you ask. I mean, I don't think I am. I eat. There's only a few things like peas that I just absolutely will not touch. I mean, I kind of feel like no matter, like if me and you and Mark are going to eat, and they say where do you want to go, like I can eat something from anywhere.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, but I like things. I like things a lot of other people don't like. Like I love mushrooms. I love onions.
I love mushrooms.
Doesn't
love
like
onions.
mushrooms.
I love those.
So a lot of my friends don't eat those things. Like my friend that I'm going to visit this weekend, he calls mushrooms sponges of the earth. He doesn't eat them, and he doesn't eat onion. I'm just like, dude, give them to me. I'll eat it.
Tell your friend that like there are actual sponges of the earth. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like not sponges are sponges of the earth. I was doing one of my favorite things, and that is scrolling through your Twitter account. I always love checking in on your Twitter account. You tweet all the time. The account I follow is j_honeycutt_34. I don't know if that's your.
That's his private account.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, that's my personal Twitter.
I have access to the private life of Jordan Honeycutt, and I came across a tweet the other day, and I want you to just explain this to me and just tell me what this meant. Quote, this announcer is terrible. He's talked more about the damn bananas than he has the game. What were you watching, Jordan, where the announcer wouldn't shut up about bananas?
Oh, the Mississippi State Vanderbilt baseball game the other night.
Nice.
Apparently Mississippi State's players put a banana on their head for like a rally charm. And the guy kept talking about like
a peel or like a peel or like a whole banana? What's going on there?
I think it was like a peel. I think they ate the banana and then put the peel on top of their head for a rally thing. So, I mean, it was like, and the guy would not stop talking about it. Like, literally, there's a game being played, and he's talking about the damn bananas. So that's why I blasted him on Twitter for it.
Did the bananas
I don't even
work?
know who the guy was.
Did they win?
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, well, there might be something to the bananas.
There could be some magical. If I'm magical baker, there could be some magical bananas.
Yeah, that's a very appealing story.
Nice.
Some would say it is quite fruitful.
Very,
I don't
very
have
good.
one.
Well, if you need more, there is the _MBSJ Twitter account as well that you can follow him at work, which is fantastic as well. Pick up a copy I mentioned of the Sun Journal. Go to newbernsj.com/sports. And we love to have him on here at least once a week. Man, I'm glad you're going to have some off time. We're looking forward to ours as well. And, man, enjoy it, man. And you should go see that single A game, man. I mean, I think one of the things that I think we forget to do as we're going to break is we go to so many games with media passes, and it's great. Listen, don't get the wrong idea. I love the media pass. It's the best. But sometimes it's great just to go as a fan because I think you kind of forget why you got into it to start off with. And going as a fan always reminds me of why I enjoy what I do.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I always try to take some time off during the work season to go to a game as a fan. And like you said, just go and lay back and enjoy it and look up in the press box and be like, know what's going on up there because you are one of those guys when you're on the clock. But when you're off of it, you can look up there and be like, well, I pretty much know what's going on in this whole stadium. And it's just kind of like you can sit back, like you said, but you can take all the pressure and deadlines off and just enjoy it.
Well, man, always great to talk to you, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great one.
For sure, man. You guys have a good one. Thank you.
We'll take a break. More of East Carolina Sports Show on Your Ride Home is coming up.